It's a shame. Here we go.
Hold on until you can see the comments on there.
All right, here we are. Let's see. Making sure I can see comments. They would be right down here. Right here, correct? Hey guys, great to be here. Tuesday, May 21st. And we're getting better and better at this live stream stuff, and I'm happy to be here. So, as you guys mostly know, we're going to go through our workbook on these Tuesday live feeds, and I'm also going to answer questions that I've seen throughout the week. Oh, and there we are. Thank you. I've got a great person helping me. So, let's see. Let's get to the questions first, because I love it when you guys ask questions, and when you when you're watching this, I can see your comments. Obviously, that's the whole point. So please ask questions. That's what we're here for. So the first question is I'm going to take from, it was NK that was last week, and the question was, at night, she was asking about going to bed a little bit hungry. Can you eat in the morning right away, or do you need to wait for hunger? And you guys who are new to this concept and what we're trying to do here, there's always just the most simple, beautiful, basic question. So anytime you have a question like this, first of all, yeah, please ask me. I really want to answer. But in case you're in a situation and we don't have time to answer you, it's always one question. Are you hungry? So, NK, if you are slightly hungry at bed, but you go to bed anyway, which I'm not necessarily recommending at all. If you're hungry, it's important that your body begins to trust that when you're hungry, you provide food. Now, if you're just slightly hungry, food really wouldn't light up your mouth, well then, whatever. But if you're hungry and you want to, if you go to bed with some slight hunger for whatever reason, and you wake up in the morning, you're like, can I eat right away or do I have to wait for hunger? Yes, you have to wait for hunger. It's always about hunger. Hunger is your most beautiful guide. It is the best wisdom that you have regarding food and eating, right? So even though you wake up and you go, wow, I was kind of hungry when I went to bed last night and I'd really just like to eat right now. Well, you will eat as soon as you feel hunger, and it'll be fantastic. So I'm imagining that when you go to bed hungry, you're thinking about food a lot because you're actually hungry. So you have an anxious feeling in the next morning, like, wow, I didn't eat last night because I was hungry. So my best advice to you is, and I know this goes way against all diet mentality thinking, diet mentality thinking is, well, don't eat anything after 7 p.m. Yeah, go to bed hungry. Oh, great, you'll be a little lighter on the scale. We don't care about being lighter on the scale the next morning. We care about losing weight permanently. And that little, high you get from, oh, look, I'm down a pound because I didn't eat right before I went to bed. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not down a pound of fat. No, you're not. Your body's just empty, and your colon may weigh a little less. And wow, you want an empty colon? Is that your proof of losing weight? No. Your proof of losing weight is the fat that's on your body that you want to shed. That's where weight loss is, and it's not about going to bed hungry. And when you go to bed hungry, and it kind of bleeds into the next day where you're like, I just kind of feel not so great because I didn't connect eating with hunger last night because I went to bed without eating when I was hungry. That sets up trouble. That sets up trouble, guys. It's always the same answer. Are you hungry? Yes, enjoy some food. I'm not hungry. I love food. I'm not hungry. I'm not going to eat, because as soon as I'm hungry, I, who enjoy food very much, will eat, and it'll be amazing, right? We just have to reconnect that really basic biological drive. Eating with hunger. Eating with hunger. Thirst with drinking. Fatigue with sleep, right? Again, I know it sounds so simple, and it is. It's very simple. But why have we lost it? And I know some of you guys who've heard me before, I'm sorry to always belabor this point, but I really want everyone to understand the reason we've lost this is because money-driven companies have made us feel that we do not know what we need to eat, and that we do not know when we should eat, and we don't know how much we should eat, and that is all a bunch of bull. Yes, you do. You only think you don't because you've been trained to stop hearing your body. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. I think it should. Just, again, Are you hungry? Eat. Don't go to bed early or don't go to bed without eating, or like I used to do if I was really hungry at night, I'll just go to bed early and I won't have to feel this hunger. What a waste of life. Don't do that to yourself. If you're hungry in the evening, have a little something. It doesn't have to be a ginormous meal. Just see how you feel. Have a few bites. Do you feel good? You're still hungry? Have some more. Keep hunger as your guide. Hunger is your guide. Hunger is your guide. Love it. Enjoy anticipating hunger because you know what that means. You get to eat soon, and it's really great, right? And again, if anyone here is watching this who can't afford food, that's really bad, and I'm so sorry. And this message must sound really strange to you, but honestly, those of us who understand the diet mentality, and we've been there, forgive us for not being more grateful that we have food if we want it. I know it's a screwed up world where we have finally enough food, and now we're complaining about that. So yeah, that's pretty heavy, but it's really the truth. Okay, someone else, and I'm so sorry I forgot to write down the name, so I hope you're going to be able to watch this, was about wine. Like, how can I enjoy wine still with a healthy, thin mentality? Absolutely you can. I'll tell you, when I was a dieter, and I bet you guys have done this too, if I went out to dinner, I would sometimes have alcohol as a way to just free myself to eat what the heck I wanted, because I was so tired of being rigid in diet mentality all week, or for that day or however long it was. So that's where alcohol or wine or beer, whatever you drink, will get you in trouble. But I want to tell you now, I drink alcohol very moderately. I have a light beer with dinner. I love that. And there's no problem at all with healthy thin mentality. Alcohol is another one of those things. It can be a very nice part of life. It also can be incredibly abused. So I don't want to sound pro-alcohol, but if you guys who are out there enjoy alcohol, you don't have to give that up to get a healthy thin mentality, right? You do not. You do not. In the beginning, when you're just feeling your way here and you want to stay really alert to your body's voice, then take it easy on the alcohol, because that does mess you up in the sense that you may not be able to hear your hunger or your satiety as well. Or when you do have an alcoholic beverage, just make sure you're really paying attention, and don't let that alcohol obviously releases inhibitions, right? Don't let that drag you back into a diet mentality where you go, well, it's Saturday night, I'm having a couple of beers with my friends, I'm just going to eat all these cheese fries and to hell with it. No, don't do that to yourself, because that's going to slow you down. Instead, say, I'm having a beer or a couple of beers, whatever it is, and moderation, of course, in all things. But even when I feel this nice inhibition from this alcohol, that doesn't mean I'm going to eat when I'm not hungry. And even with alcohol, food is better with hunger, even when you're having a drink. Okay, so make sure that you keep that focus. And you may need to do silly little things. And actually, it's not silly at all, but I'm just saying that, like, write yourself a little note on your phone, like, hey, you're having a drink, but stay in touch with your healthy thin mentality. That sounds corny, but if you were retraining a little kid on how to, let's say, fold their clothes, something really basic, you might put little notes up like, your sweater goes here, or, put your pants here. I mean, really basic things. Treat yourself like that little kid, because you are a little kid when it comes to relearning how to eat normally as Mother Nature intended. Melissa, thank you for putting the first question out there today. My doctor told me when we are in our 40s, our metabolism slows. Oh, I love this. Hold on. I asked if we should eat 70% less, and she said yes. Okay. Yeah, no, Melissa. No, don't think about it that way. Don't think about it that way. That is such a disconnected way to think about your metabolism. Let me tell you this. Getting older does not mean you have to gain weight. Period. And I hate that myth. It does not mean you have to gain weight. Will you be less muscular? Yes. So will you be a little smushier? Am I smushier than I was when I was 40? Yes. That's just life. That's okay. But you don't need to pack on the pounds. And people think that, once you hit a certain age, your metabolism slows. Okay, well, guess what else happens as you age? That maybe smaller amount of food that you need, a slightly less amount. And I do not buy at all that it's 70% instead of 100%. I don't buy that at all. But whatever it is, it doesn't even matter. If you're tuned into hunger, it doesn't matter, because if you're slightly less hungry because if you want to call it your metabolism is slowed, well, then you're going to eat less. It all works out. There's no need for this. What percentage less should I eat? Don't worry about it. If you're connected to hunger, all of that takes care of itself. And you don't have to go, well, let's see, now I'm 48, and when I was 42, I could eat this much, so now I can eat that. No, that's cerebral without connecting to biology at all, right? That's doing math. That's not listening to your body. Listen to your body. And I love doctors. I think most doctors are awesome and have committed to a life of service and helping people get well. That's great. But a lot of them, especially anyone trained, longer ago, older doctors, they didn't learn about nutrition like we know now. And that isn't even a good thing. I'm not even a proponent about learning all about nutrition. I'm more about connecting with your hunger. But I'm saying that they don't know. I've been to many a heavy doctor for various appointments. They don't know necessarily at all. Not to dismiss their great work and intelligence and skill in many ways. But, when it comes to this, look around at all the medical literature, look at all the different advice we get from year to year, and know that it is not necessarily the place to go to just a doctor who maybe your internist may have no idea what a healthy thin mentality is. Obviously they don't, probably, or how a diet mentality affects your body, soul, heart, and stress level. And stress is terrible for you, and diet mentality and thinking, oh wow, 70%, that's stressful. Don't do that to yourself. Instead, am I hungry right now? It's lunchtime. Am I hungry? Not, it's lunchtime, I should eat. It's lunchtime. Am I hungry? Well, no, I'm really not. I ate kind of late. I usually breakfast. I'm not talking about me because I don't eat breakfast normally, but let's say you are a breakfast person and you're at work and so, well, it's noon, but I kind of ate plenty. I felt great at 9 after I ate breakfast or whatever, and now I'm at work and it's 12 or 1 or whatever, and it's time for lunch, but I'm really not hungry. Why would you eat then? Oh, because everyone else is? All right, well, that's not good enough. That's not good enough for you to know when you should eat. So don't eat just because everyone else is, okay? That's a big deal. And you may feel kind of like, oh no, everyone's going to be eating, it's going to look so good. Yeah, get over that. You're going to ride that a little bit in the beginning. I promise if you can get through that, you will understand that eventually it becomes weird to eat without hunger. You have to kind of get a rhythm going where you always say to yourself, they're eating, it looks really great, I'm sitting next to them, but I'm really not hungry, but it looks really great, but I'm just going to wait 10 minutes and see how I feel. And maybe in a half an hour I will be hungry and I can eat that. But I'm always going to use that guide of, am I hungry? Before I put things into my body, which my body is not asking for. And remember, before you feel sorry for yourself, we get to eat several times a day. So it's really no big trauma to simply wait for hunger. It's just that no one has told you to value your hunger. No one has told you how important it is to not only your body, but your brain and your stress level and your nurturing of your own self with food, which is really important. It's important in your life that's a happy event. I don't mean like fireworks, but it should be something nice that we get to do several times a day. And we're very lucky. We are very lucky. And like I said last week, I love food just as much as anybody who overeats. But I've just decided that with hunger, it's so much better. And I love it so much. I'm waiting for that. That's a great question. So much. Thank you so much for asking that. Melissa, seriously, great question. May, yeah, thank you. I think I do too. Makes sense. Will someone doing HTM mostly healthy food lose weight faster than, no. Great question, Keen Cat. What a cute name. No, because what is weight loss about? Weight loss is about connecting hunger with calories, right? Food. And over time, from everyone I've seen, and including me, as you get into your healthy thin mentality, you choose more healthful food, not because someone's telling you to, but because you start hearing your body go, wow, I really feel like I need some crunchy greens, and I just am craving that. Or I really need some protein. And, I also need some ice cream. But it works out better, because even then when you pick the ice cream, from my experience, again, with me and others, you tend to be a little pickier about what the ingredients are because you value this food experience a lot. and you don't feel guilty about eating ice cream. So you're going to get the ice cream or the cookie or whatever the heck it is that you like most. You're going to get what you like the most. And so your taste buds become more aware of food, because when you're heavier or you're dieting and then you're binging in between diets, you shove down food and you feel like you might be enjoying it, but you're really not. It's a guilty stress fest, and you're going to go on another diet. So you eat fast. I mean, I eat fast anyway, but maybe you eat faster and you don't even make it nice for yourself. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to eat this because I'm going on a diet next week. And no, none of that is good. So back to your question. Don't worry about the healthy food part. It will come. The first step, and always the first step, is getting the horse in the right place and the cart behind him, not in front of him, right? So the first step is hearing hunger and answering it with calories, with food. And it doesn't really, I hate it when I say this, because I think nutrition people are, oh, she doesn't care about nutrition. Yes, I do. I'm helping you get there permanently instead of in a, really eat healthy, really eat poorly. Really, I'm trying to get you out of that. And instead, if you're just kind of right here going, I'm hungry, I'm going to have something to eat, and then I'm calm again. I'm hungry, and I bring my level back calm. That's what it's about. It's not about going, I'm hungry, I'm shoving food beyond even what I need, and then I'm crashing and I feel terrible, then I'm getting hungry again. And no, it's a nice calm, riding that wave of in neutral, and you need food. Bring yourself back to neutral, and you need food. And that nutrition, I promise, it'll come. It really will come. Sure, Melissa, okay, Haley, not feeling hunger seems so scary to me now, when before it was the best to never feel hungry. Yeah, yes, Haley, that is a really great point. We were taught as dieters, and I was a dieter. I'm so sorry I repeat myself, because I want new people to hear me say this too. I was a dieter for 25 years, and I know exactly how you think as a dieter. And yes, we are taught to fear hunger, this diet, you're not even hungry. Well, that's really sad, because hunger, as long as you can answer it with food, is wonderful. It's wonderful to be hungry and anticipate a meal and eat it, and it feels so good. And when I say feel so good, I mean emotionally too. And we're taught, no emotional eating. Really? Really? It's not emotional to provide yourself with nutrients to help you live? What is not emotional about that? And how stupid are we that we believe people who say that eating shouldn't be emotional? What world do you live in that you actually think that? And I say that with kind of an arrogance, I know, because I used to think that, so I should really tone that down, because I do know how that feels. But when you're heavier than you want to be, and I say this a lot, you feel vulnerable and you look for a savior, and you go, well, I must be really bad because I've lost weight, but look at me. I'm heavier, I'm all, I look down at my leg, I don't like what I see. So you're really vulnerable. So you're more easily led to silly statements like food is not to be an emotional experience. Food is highly emotional. It gets all our senses going, including our heart, including memories of food when we were kids. Enjoy that, guys. That's beautiful. And I always ask this, what other biological drive would you give away? Right? What else would you do? Just nonchalantly. What other lovely biological drive would you do that to? Probably not any. Ruthie, good morning. Hi, it's always great to see you there. Your body is so much more than metabolism. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Metabolism is a word that I think I've used it because I've used it in the sense that when you go on a diet, your metabolism does decrease, and that's not good. So it's not like I'm unaware of issues with metabolism. It's that if you connect eating with hunger, you don't have to worry about it. You just don't have to worry about it. As your metabolism slightly decreases as you get older, you're going to be less hungry. Mother Nature is beautiful. She has this all figured out way better than any app ever could, okay? Seriously. Okay, cholesterol, yes. I worry my food choice and my craving are those of someone with addictive personality. Will my cholesterol go back up? I don't take meds. Very reasonable question, and I'm sure that you go in, Eva, to your doctor, and they're measuring you and all that stuff. So I understand this, but this is, and I'm not a doctor. I'm really not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. None of that. But if you think logically about what you're trying to do here, you're trying long-term to keep your weight in a stable, happy place for you. That is very good for your health. What is terrible for your health is dieting and binging and dieting and binging and dieting and binging. And you guys know my message is for dieters, and that is a dieter's life. You're on a diet, you're off a diet. You're on a diet, you're off a diet. You're in your skinny jeans, you're in your very heavy jeans, you can't even fit in your jeans. You're in your skinny jeans, you're in your, it goes around and around like that. That's really bad for you. And having higher cholesterol, we also think is bad for you, right? I'm just going to say this. There's a lot of, I'm not a doctor, but just do your own research on cholesterol drugs and, they're very effective at treating the number of cholesterol. I'm not going to say that. Do what your doctor says and trust that your body will crave the food that your specific body needs. And if, because you're worried about cholesterol, and I've had other people ask similar questions, if you're worried about that, as you're looking at what food you could possibly eat to satisfy yourself, ask yourself, I really want this really, let's say, this high-fat steak or whatever it is. That's protein, that's fat. See, if you're worried about cholesterol, say, would I be also happy with a leaner cut, or do I really need all that? And just play around with that, because we're all different. We all have to take care of ourselves, and if I don't know 100% what your situation is health-wise, but give your body a chance to respond to something like that too. Maybe a little lower on the meat scale. On the cholesterol scale. But also remember this. The best thing for your body is to be, in a stable, happy weight range, right? And those people who say, oh, you can be really heavy and be really healthy. Okay, but I'm not speaking to people like that. I'm speaking to us dieters who want to be a certain weight. So that's cool. Do what you want but I intuitively think that, being at a happy, healthy weight is probably good for us. And it allows us to move easier and better. And so that's my answer, Eva. I hope that's helpful enough. I hope, and if it's not, please pipe in here, that trust your hunger. And if you are only eating until hunger is calm, you're eating less. So whether it's highly cholesterol-rich foods or not, you're eating less. And yeah, bingo, you eat less with a healthy, thin mentality. Yes, you do. Not a ton less, like on a diet, but you eat less. And over time, everything calms down. And you can please look at the other people on Facebook, our Facebook groups. And it's not just me saying this. At first you're like, wow, this is weird. I can eat whatever I want, but geez, I don't really know what I'm doing here. And you feel like a fish out of water, because you are. But your body calms down. And it's just so much easier. Another really good thing is, as a dieter, you think about food all the time because you're dieting. Do you think that's good for your weight? No. When you have a healthy, thin mentality, you love food more, you enjoy food more, but you think about it less. Seriously. Eating Eva, you're totally welcome. Yes, of course. Eating when you're hungry does raise cholesterol. Eating when you're not hungry does raise cholesterol and blood sugar because insulin stays high. That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. Connecting eating with hunger is really important, and it is again, not a doctor, but of all the things you can do for yourself to normalize your relationship with food and eating is huge. So let's see, I have one more question. Oh, cholesterol, and I wrote that down, and wine. Okay, so if anyone comes up with another question, you're welcome. Please pipe in. I'm going to start going through our week 1 a little bit here. I'm on page 15, so we're going to be going through this more slowly because I'm answering questions too. But as you are reestablishing a normal relationship with food, eating, in your body, these week 1, exercise 1, I'm going to go here again. I was born with a healthy, thin mentality. As I reconnect eating with hunger, I nurse my healthy, thin mentality back to life. Think how calm and lovely that statement is. You're nursing yourself back to life, right? Your healthy, thin mentality back to life. And if you were, like I was, a dieter for a long, long time, it's truly amazing how highly impactful it is when you have a screwed up relationship with food, meaning you're worrying it, you're counting calories, what's the next best diet, what book on my nightstand can I read before I go to bed to keep me psyched up to deprive myself, all those things, or what food am I going to go buy eat really fast to make myself feel better because I just came off a diet and I'm just so frustrated. I love food and I can't eat anything. Yeah, the diet itself is what does this to you. You become obsessed with food when you weren't. You eat things you don't even like. You eat things that you never even ate before. Like one of my stories in my book is me sitting in the, my floor in my kitchen when I was like, I don't know, 20 years old or something, eating fruitcake in the dark because that's all we had in our house. And I wanted something sweet so bad. I would never do that now because I would have taken care that I had food. And if I wanted something sweet, I would eat something really amazing. I wouldn't put myself in that position. I would take care of myself. Oh, I feel like I'm going to want something sweet. Well, I keep these in my house for when that happens. You take care of yourself with a healthy thin mentality, and that connection. Like when you take care of having really fun, nice food around you, you stop obsessing about it. You're like, hey, if I have the urge for this, sweet, whatever, cupcake, whatever it is, it's right there. And I can have it anytime I want without guilt because that food, when I'm hungry, is not fattening. When I eat carrots or anything else without hunger, it is fattening. Again, it's relevant eating. It's not good food, bad food. It's relevant eating. We're going to go to number 2. My body communicates to me through physical cues such as hunger, thirst, and fatigue. I respect these cues. We're taught not to. We're taught to scheduleize ourselves in a way that does not reflect what our bodies are actually craving. We're taught to eat on schedules that do not reflect what our bodies require. We were told to do intermittent fasting. We're told to, eat, protein at this time of day, carbs at this time. All the ridiculous. It doesn't matter. Every new diet trick has already been out there, and it just cycles on back. Every trick, it's already been done, including intermittent fasting, including keto, including everything that's kind of the on-trend diet. None of that matters. None of that matters. Respect your cues. When you're hungry, eat. When you're tired, sleep. And don't eat when you're tired and sleep when you're hungry, right? Match them up. The more I develop my healthy thin mentality, the more I feel my life coming back to balance. Yeah, because one of the most important things you do every day is eat, and you can't just stop eating. And when you understand that balanced eating, which again is relevant, hunger, food, hunger, food, hunger, food, everything kind of comes back into balance because food is one of the most. It's the second most important thing you do every day, right? Besides breathe. You've got to eat or drink. Have, thirst, food, and breathing. There they are, right? And if that's screwed up in your head, you need to fix that because your life will be much better balanced. You'll be in a much better, safer place. And I say safer, meaning that you can experience life without that fear of like, I need something to eat, but I'm going to be on a diet and I'm going to a reunion and I need to look a certain way. You're going to get to where you want to be better than ever before by just staying with that hunger as your guide, and it'll be permanent. So when as we go through the workbook, I have little strategies for you. But when you see someone who's lost weight, I know that's really hard because you go, oh wow, they've lost weight, and I just feel really like I just need to lose weight too because she's my best friend, and gosh, she looks really good. Just give her time, and I don't wish this on anyone, but she'll gain it back because. Look around, everyone does. And if they don't gain it back, it's because they're being extremely rigid with their food. And that's joyless, and that eventually cracks as well, right? So set up your life that food is a positive experience for you and that your body and what you provide your body is relevant, okay? I understand that every day is different and that my body changes too. This is so important to be open to new cues from your body. Okay, so like in the morning, you wake up, you're not hungry, but you generally always have some toast with your coffee. Why? You're not hungry. Why? Oh, well, that's just what I do in the morning. Okay. Well, you're completely ignoring your body. Your body isn't hungry. So you're giving your body food when it's not hungry. And there's payback for that because if you don't want to gain weight, you have to not eat when you are hungry. And that's miserable. Eating when you're not hungry, not eating when you are hungry, is really bad. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do this because it makes you have to do this, all right? Match eating with hunger. The voice that matters to me most is my own, right? I'm not trying to lead you to my voice. I'm trying to lead you to your voice. I say this every week. That's really important because you're the only one who can do that. And all I can do is guide you to listen to yourself. And if you say, oh, my voice is never going to tell me wise things. Yes, it is. Your body is born of the same universe as mine and everyone else's. We have some very common traits. And one of them is that we get hungry and food satisfies that. Unless you have a really weird disease, I'm sorry to say, or strange, difficult disease. But you probably don't, right? So when you're hungry, you provide food, and you stop eating when you're back in neutral, you're going to be fine. You really are. I use my healthy thin mentality to protect myself and to value my instincts. Yep. Because when you ignore you, that sets you up for a pretty bad day. If you ignore you, why wouldn't everybody else ignore you too? Don't ignore your body. Don't ignore your voice. That voice is really important, and it's designed just for you. Is my progress depends on my ability to see my life and happiness with a long-term vision. Yeah, life is short. I mean, you guys who are really young may not understand this, but to spend a few months here figuring this out now will save you a lot of heartache. And I know you want to be thin now. And you can go on a diet and you can lose some weight and feel thinner and be pleased for a little while. But then you fight your body forever until you decide, I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm actually going to listen. And that's what I'm imploring you to do. Because as important as Saturday night seems to you, or going to a certain event or whatever, just whatever, those short-term goals won't do you any good in this realm. What you want is to learn how to eat for the rest of your life with respect to hunger and get the body you want for the rest of your life. It's worth it. As my body enters its ideal weight range, it does so calmly and slowly. And that's what you want. Because if you do it fast, your body freaks out. And if you read the book or you have the workbook, there's examples of why that's true. But just think how reasonable that is. If you slam yourself with a low-calorie diet, what do you think that does to your body? Do you think your body is happy with that? No, your body thinks, oh my God, there's a famine. And I've said this 1,000 times, but it's just true. And so you freak your body out, and your body no longer has the ability to calmly give you a hunger signal, expect for food, and be a nice weight. And that's what you're trying to get back to. Your body's hungry, sends you a cue. You go, I think I'm hungry. Let me wait a sec. Yeah, that's real hunger. And you learn about yourself. I know when I feel this kind of hunger and I eat, it's amazing. So this is hunger. Because when you're hungry, food is amazing. It's amazing. And so you eat, and then you go, I feel pretty good now. I think I could stop, but I'm not sure. So I'm just going to put my food here, and it's mine. Whether it's here or already inside of me, it's mine. And so, yeah, it is my dog. Sorry. No, she wants to get the doors closed. Hold on, honey. It's still yours. It's still right there. So just be calm and patient. Say, if I still need that food to satisfy this hunger, great. But I'm going to give my body a second to let me know that for sure. It's a really valuable tool. I seek a relaxed relationship with food and eating. My healthy thin mentality fosters this. Yes. I know you've been places where you're like, oh, I'm not going to go over there because that's where the cake is, and oh, I'm just going to dive face first into that. Well, that's a terrible way to live, to be afraid of some flour and sugar on a table, right? Is that what you want? I mean, I did that. I did all of these things too. So I don't mean to sound harsh, but I'm just, like, when I look back on myself, I'm like, oh God, why did I do that? Why did I waste my life, dieting, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, stressing. It's not smart. It's not smart. And the reason that we do it is not because we are not smart. It's because we get like this hyper focus, and we go, okay, yeah, but I got to lose weight. And everywhere I look, they're telling me this is how to do it. And I really want to be thin by this period of time. So I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to turn my blinders to the logic that I'm missing here. Right. So be easy on yourself and just know that, being afraid of food or avoiding situations because of food makes you feel weak. And if you can get a relationship where that food looks beautiful, and if I'm hungry for something sweet, I may have some of that, but I'm doing other things right now. And your life isn't revolving around these kinds of thoughts. Hunger improves food. Waiting for hunger is a joyful anticipation. If you can latch onto one thing today, latch onto that. Hunger improves food. Now, why is that? It's because Mother Nature wants us to survive. That's a powerful tool. Use it. Use that tool. It's fantastic. And I'm not talking about waiting until you're hangry, hungry, angry. No, I'm talking about until your body's like, hey, come on, let's get some food. But not like an example to illustrate what I mean is, if you've ever been to a restaurant and they're really busy and you're really hungry and they put bread on the table and you're like, and you just eat a bunch of bread. It's to be eating that because you can't wait for food. I mean, I still do that sometimes because you're just, and I'm so hungry because I've been waiting for hunger, but then something messes up, like the restaurant takes longer than I think, so I eat something that I don't really want, but I'm just so hungry. Well, that's not that joyful, right? It's fine, and we're not complaining about beautiful food. But if you can wait for the food that you actually want, that you're actually craving, it's amazing. And even if you eat the bread, it's still way better with your hunger sauce, right? Hunger is the best sauce. So don't be afraid of hunger anymore. Don't be afraid. It's your guide. It's beautiful. It's really, again, I'm going to say, as long as you can afford to buy food. And again, it's really so sad that we don't appreciate that. But if you can afford to get yourself a sandwich or whatever it is you want, hunger is beautiful. Use it. Guide your life and your choices by listening to that beautiful voice that you absolutely have. All right? Let's see. The end of page 17, the Healthy Thin Mentality Proclamation. I was born with the wisdom to eat what I crave when I'm hungry. I traded in that wisdom for diet rules and quick fix programs that ended up crippling my relationship with food, eating, in my own body. I am fully committed to reviving that wisdom. I will be that person who saw the irony of dieting and overcame it. Be that person. I will be that person who enjoys my food and my body. I will respect my body type. We're not all tall and skinny. We're not going to diet our way tall, and we're not going to diet our way skinny. We're going to listen to our healthy thin mentality and get to our happy weight range. I will be the best representation of one ideal. Me, right? Me. And a lot of people get in trouble trying to represent an ideal that isn't them. Another, saying, I'll repeat this, like people who want to be long and lanky, but they're just not built that way. Like I'm not built that way. And I tried to be long and lanky, and it gets you in trouble because you're fighting. And it won't work. If you're like a movie star and you're paid millions of dollars to look lanky, well, have at it. But for us normal people who are trying to live a normal life and have a body that you love, that's reflective of you and how you were destined to be, then respect that. And that will guide you. It will be, you'll see that let's say you guys who really want to be really skinny or whatever, and I'm not saying you're not going to be thin, because if that's your body type, you will be. But if you're like me, I'm in the middle, and that's a great place for me to be. And accepting that, you're not a tall, skinny model, right? Who cares? You were born with a certain color eyeball too, right? There's some things about you that were born into you, that came to you through a long line of ancestors who would love you. So just stick with what you got and make your representation of you the best you can. And that's where happiness is. That's where peace is. I know my dog. Hold on, Lilu. And that's where you can thrive. And you know what? Get on with other things in your life, because we worry way too much about this. We spend way too much time on this. I'm asking you to spend a lot of time on this now, because you need to get through this so you can devote yourself to bigger things. You guys, the workbook, it's on dietsorfattening.com if you want to get that. And, please do. Or the book, they help. But, I'll be here anyway. But they do help. Just saying. So it's great to be here with you. Thank you so much for you guys who asked questions. And any of you guys who watch this later, you won't see those questions. But if you comment with new questions, I will look at them before I come online next Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And I will address your questions and continue on in the workbook on page 19, which is week 1, exercise 2. If you want to go through the workbook quicker, join our private Facebook group, dietsorfattening.com workbook. And I'll let you know, you can get in there, and all of the workbook I've gone through before, 1 week at a time as well. So I got lots of help out there for you. This presentation on YouTube is going to be about going through the workbook more slowly and answering your questions, because that helps me know what to emphasize, and I hope it helps you. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Meg. And I will be back next week. So have a great week. And remember, the one thing I really said for you to latch onto this week is that hunger improves food. Waiting for hunger is a joyful anticipation. It's not a stress fest. It's like, I'm going to eat something that's going to be so good. I'm going to love it. And then I'm going to get hungry again later on today, and I'll get to do it again. It's a good thing. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I will see you soon. Thank you so much.